Hello everyone. My name is Francis McDowell. Just like I promised, I'm going to share and bring out the demonstration of our session and our presentation today. So we presented uh, real world crimes, cyber crimes, and breaches, and one of them was Wanacry, a ransomware attack, Equifax data breach, Colonial Pipeline, and we looked at the theory version of all this. But in this version of the demonstration, I want to show you how WannaCry or how a ransomware attacks a system and how it looks like. And we shall dig deep into how to analyze malware, the basics of it, and what tools I'm going to be using, and basically how you can detect the indicators of compromise that system has been compromised. When we were talking about this, we realized that this system, it was a ransomware attack whereby uh, files were encrypted, and then the threat actors asked for money in Bitcoin, and money in Bitcoin for them to decrypt the files for the client, for the people that had been uh, uh, actually encrypted their files. So basically, it exploited the eternal blue, that is SMB protocol. That is why the exploit was a 0 day not known, and so basically, this is what it was exploited. So this malware, first of all, when it is executed on a vulnerable machine or in a on a machine, one thing it does is it had a kill switch, which is a domain name. And this domain name we shall see it in analyzing. So first of all, how did it execute it? First of all, it could find if the domain name is there, then it could, if it's not there, it could proceed and encrypt the files on the affected computer and spread itself. And if at all that domain name is not there, or is there, or is resolving, it could stop. So that is how the reverse engineer Hawkins was able to provide and get a kill switch for it. And so its kill switch was, first of all, what he did, he went on and actually did, uh, he registered this domain. After registering this domain, which means that this was a kill switch, since this domain, the logic of the WannaCry ransomware is that if this domain is there, it will stop. It will not even execute. But if it's not there, it will continue and execute. Of course, the person who created this malware, he made sure that this domain is not there. But the person who reverse engineered this to stop it, what he did was he registered this domain so that all the executables will not do what they are supposed to do. Basically, this is the logic here. You can look at it. This is an executable. Um, and this executable, first of all, you can see it is a ransomware. First of all, every time it is on the system, what it does, it first takes for this URL. This is the domain I was telling you. If this domain is online, it will exit and it will do nothing. If it is offline, in either case, if it doesn't resolve this username, it will take first thing first, it will take the privileges. If it is admin, if the privileges are admin, it will proceed and create a file called task.exe under directory C Windows. You can see this when it executes. But if not, it will try to create a file under directory. So mostly it is targeting those with admin privileges. And then we can also look at uh, how. So basically, as you can see on the logic of the malware, how it was able to be stopped is because Mark Hawkins, what he did was he went on and registered this domain. So every time it was executed, since the logic is that if the URL is online, it will exit. So that is how we found out the case. So basically now let's dig deep into how this malware looks like. In front of me is Kali Linux, and I use Kali Linux in my day-to-day activities. And basically, I will try to zoom in so that you can see. I have my malware samples here. Here, this is a one of my ransomware sample, malware sample that I have in front of me. This is the one that was used to infect systems. And then I have it in a 7Z. What I did was just unzip it and then I come up. This is the executable here. This is the ransom file. Maybe to make it clean, I can just create a folder and call it sample, and then uh, I will move this to samples. Okay, delete samples. Okay, so I have the file here. I'm using Linux. If you're not familiar with Linux, you can use the graphical user the way of interacting with things. And then my folder is under. Let me see. Is under home carry downloads. Okay, it is under downloads and then samples. So this is the malware. This is the executable how it looks like. When you look at this under its properties, you'll see that this is a Windows EFI program. And that is why it was affecting internal system-based Windows. So it means that this ransomware was attacking, was targeting Windows application, Windows systems. So this is how you can take it, and they are telling it is an executable program. You can confirm this in Linux. You can run the command code file followed by let's try to zoom a bit. File space followed by the name of the ransom, by the name of the file, which is this. So you press enter. Now they're going to tell you that this is the PE32 executable, Intel 8368 for Windows. So basically, what they mean is that this is a Windows executable. Uh, so after knowing that this is a Windows executable, how do we reverse this? First of all, reverse engineering is whereby we look at malware, we look at viruses, we look at executables, we try to look at what is their logic, we look at the code it was compiled, if it was compiled, we look at how it was compiled. So first thing first, you have to know what kind of executable you're looking at. If it is a Linux executable or a Windows application, a Windows executable. So in this case, we are aware this is a Windows executable. And now we want to confirm everything we saw here in our heart, everything we saw in this. So first thing first, we want to do static analysis. So static analysis, static malware analysis, whereby we look at the source code of the virus or of the ransomware executable. Static analysis also involves that to see the code. It's like code review. And then another part of malware analysis is called dynamic. This is whereby now we run the executable and see how it behaves. But normally, when we are reversing and analyzing malware, you have to look at the static one. So how do we analyze the static? So first thing first, there are very many tools to use, and Linux is not the best one to analyze malware. There's another one called Remnux, and Remnux is also a VM like Kali for analyzing malware. It has all the tools. But me, I will first of all, I will decompile this, or I will just see how it looks like. So since I've confirmed this is a Windows application and I'm on Linux, I can't run it. First things first, I want to look at the strings. I'll just set strings. Strings means that I want every text in this executable to be up and to will filter out all readable texts in this executable. So the executables are compiled. So I will set strings followed by the name of the file, and I will press enter. So when I press enter, it will print for me anything that is readable. For example, this. This. But you can see this. So in my understanding is that this malware had all languages. It had all languages, so that when it affects computers, this thing here, this banner here, it will change to the language that is set to the computer, so that everyone can be able to can be able to read what is on the screen. So to me, we shall confirm that later, of course. When I see many languages here, I confirm that somehow is trying to translate according to the computer it has affected. We can proceed up and see if there are any other readable strings or any other readable text. This is the first thing you do in malware analysis and reverse engineering. We can see something readable here. MSG Indonesian. That is also part of what we saw below. And you see anything? Simplified Chinese. Okay, I think there are things here. These are also giveaways. We can't read them. And yeah, that is all I think we can read from there. I don't think there is not much anything. So, understanding that, that is the first thing to do. The next thing to do is opening this executable with this code. There are very many debuggers, there are very many tools and compilers to do this. One of them is uh, Gidra. Another one is called Ida Pro, or you can just use Ida Pro. Pro is the paid version one. These are graphical user. There is Kata, there is Binary Ninja. All these are used to reverse engineer. There are command line based one, like Relay, my favorite one. I normally use Kata and Relay, but Ida Pro and Jita, they are also nice and interesting. So we shall use Relay and Kata, and then we shall see what is that executable doing. Okay, now let's do Relay. If I have it installed. Though if you don't have it installed, you can check R2 by typing in R2. R2 is the representation of a layer. So when you see it in green, it means that now we have it installed. Um, yeah. So we can say R2, R2 space followed by the file. The file is this one. But to make this file have one extension, you can use this .mlz. You can just remove that extension and you can say ransomware 2. I can just say, let me call it Wanacry, Wanacry.exe and press enter. So when I list the files, now the file at least has a good name. This didn't change it. When you run file again on it, you'll see it is still the same file, a PE executable. So nothing much was changed. It is just the name that changed. Okay, now let's open up and see what this does. Um, When I press enter, R2, it means that it is right there. It is used to open this executable. And as you can see, they wanted me to use that key. If you want to use right there, you can check its documentation. I think it is R2 H. So they will show you how to use it. But me, I just run it. So when you run Redea with the executable, it will give you a console like this. In this console, we shall do the following. First, we shall list all the functions in this compiled program. Because this is a computer program, and also whoever wrote its code, it has functions, it has imports, it has everything a computer program can have, whoever wrote its code. So how do I do that? I'll just say AFL. So AFL is not doing anything. What I will do, I'll say AAA to give me all the flags on how to use everything. So we want, first thing first, we always want functions. How do we get functions? We say analyze function calls, analyze entries, analyze imports. Normally, AFL is always used for analyzing the what? The function. So I'll just say AFL. So let me try to zoom out and you see. All of these are the functions in that ransomware program. All of these, the first one is entry, is always the first one. All of these are functions, and trust me, all these functions have what they do. But the most interesting one is always the main function, which we know that the main function always calls these other functions. And then the entry one. Maybe if you want to look at the entry one, you can say, let me clear this one. I'm pressing Ctrl L to clear the screen. So I will just say S enter. What was its name again? It was enter 0. If you want to go into that function, you say S enter 0. Uh, did I, oh, I didn't write it well. Entry, entry 0. So when you see, when you just click, it is the end of the program. Normally, you will see we can do PDF. PDF means that we shall print the code or the code that is inside this function. So I press enter. When I press enter, then you will see that this is the beginning of the program. It starts from here. So if you don't know assembly, you don't need to worry at this time. Basically, this code is when you compile a source code, it will turn into a computer readable. So basically, this is assembly, and then you can be able to, after, if you decompile, you can get the real source code that comes and gives this. So, for example, all these instructions, these all you can be gotten after you decompile a program to the real source code. Anyway, this is not our main reason we are here. The main reason we are here, what we know in reverse engineering, we normally want to look at the main function. The main function is always the main thing we normally want to use. But so how do we go to the main function? According to what we saw in FL, FL, we see the main function is here. So if we want to go to the main function, so this is an address. So when I do S main means switch main, S entry means switch to entry. So when I say S main, I just say switch to main function. When I press enter, was it, let me say S main, okay. So I've written it with a space here, which is not supposed to be. So basically what has changed, the address has changed from 16 to 140, which means that this was the address of the entry where we were. Now this address is for main. So when I just do PDF to print the code inside the main, these are the things you will see. One, this is the main function. The main function of this ransomware program has something interesting. When I'm reverse engineering the malware, I normally look at things like internet close handle, internet open URL. Within these are calls or functions or methods that actually do what? This that open something to do with the internet. They either open a URL, for example, this one can open a URL, and then this one can close the URL of the internet. So every time I find something in the code, I go and note it down because it is doing something. I can say I found uh, let me copy it to where. Okay, I think my VM I need to enable copy and paste. It's okay. Let me just leave it at that. So, but maybe I can use Notepad, okay, mouse inside here. So I've discovered this internet open URL. Assume this is a function. So basically, this is one of the things when you're reversing malware you look at. So when I get to see this in the source code, I normally want to look for what is it opening? What exactly, why is it there? So let's go back and analyze. So when you analyze, you'll see something like str.http. So every time you see str.http, it means that in front of it, there must be a URL. So in this case, we can see, confirm that there is a URL here, and this is the domain name. You can also note it down here. This remember when you're reversing malware or when you're doing something, you take notes, you have to document. So basically, this is my documentation so that I keep following up. So after discovering this, it is opening this. But we need to confirm. Let's go to our slides. In our slides, there is somewhere that talked about this we discovered. And it is around, I think here, uh, okay, it's here. So they are saying that after Martin's reverse engineered this malware, it found out that Wanacry turned itself off once it began getting a response from this domain. Is this the domain we discovered? We can confirm that. Exactly, this is the domain that is in the source code. This is the domain that is in the source code. HTTP, let me copy it again with it, HTTP. So this is how we discover indicators of compromise when you're analyzing malware. And when you say HTTP, it means that it is running on port 80. And so we can confirm that this is the URL every time this program ran, it was trying to resolve all this domain. We can confirm that in the dynamic analysis when we run the program. Here we are just doing static analysis, looking at the code. Okay, now we have something interesting. So discovering that, what next? Is there any interesting uh, AFL? Is there any interesting function to look at? Mostly we would want to look at main function. VV, I can just say variables, I think. Let me say PDF. I think there isn't anything much. We can look at these DLLs later. Okay, I think we can just have look at it, how these they are going. This is how it is executing. Okay, I think we can just have something like that as now. We can execute this if we want, or we can even look at the string this idea. So all these are functions and they are being called in any way or the other. Okay, now what have we discovered? As of now, we've discovered there is a URL that is being called inside there, and that has been confirmed that this is the one they use. And this also confirms our logic here that the logic of this is that if the ransomware is on the system, it first checks if this URL is there. If this URL is there, it will exit. But if it is not there or offline, it will do all its malicious activity. And that URL, we've already discovered it in the source code of the malware. Okay, so we can exit this. So let's now look at something else. So I used Redea. Now I can even use a graphical user one. A graphical user one, I can use data, then the file. This is also a good tool for analyzing malware to look at its source code. And now let me upload the file. Okay, now this is Kata. Kata, first of all, the first gives you uh, an overview of the file. First of all, it is saying it is called this, it is a PE. PE, these are Windows executable files. And then what else are they giving you? It is that these are libraries it's calling. These are libraries from the Windows 32 API. These are hashes. First of all, another thing you need to check, if you get a hash of a file, first come and go to you first go to VirusAuto to check if this file is malicious. You can paste our hash there. I haven't enabled. Let me just enable copy and paste so we can copy. Okay. So I can now copy again. Then I can go and paste. So exactly, VirusAuto will exactly tell you that this file you are trying to analyze is a Trojan, is a ransomware, is associated with Wanacry, basically meaning that we are analyzing a malicious software. And these are all vendors and various people that have already flagged this. You find big security organizations So many of them, you can see all these Alibaba, you can see Cold Strike, and so on. So after confirming that it's vulnerable, it's a malicious software, you can now start static analysis. First of all, these are the functions we saw by them. All these functions, so you can see the main function. When we click on it, it will give us the same thing we saw the other side in red there. So this one is the graphical user for analyzing, and the other one was the what was the command line. So basically, you can see this malicious URL that is controlling the logic. And if you want, you can view, you can see all these functions. You can look into them when you're analyzing, but at the same time, I won't be looking at all of them, and we can just go straight to what exactly is interesting. So, this is also part of the source code. If you want, you can keep on analyzing to see all of its behavior because it's a big program. Okay, now you can see that it also first there are functions that gets the information about the computer. All of these are things you can get to understand and look at them in chronological order. So this is static analysis. Now, after understanding the flow of this source code, what do we do? Now we need to confirm that by running the binary. I can close data and then I can just head over to the sandbox. Right now I'm on my machine. I don't want to run this ransomware on my machine. What I will do is that I will go to this system, to this website called NRun, and any.run. There is a sandbox or a dedicated virtual machine for Windows. I normally use it for malware analysis. So basically, what you do, you have to create an account and then you go and dump your file. Anyway, I think I can, let me just do it. So let me click on register. If I had my VM of Flare, I would actually run this, but I don't want to run malware on my machine. So basically, I've already logged in. That is, they are bringing this for you. You will have to log in. So they are saying submit a file. So I will click on. So you can choose which one do you want. You can choose which one do you want. But like I would say, click new analysis, and then you choose which one. I want Windows 7 because I know Windows 7 is vulnerable, is still vulnerable to MS-17, that eternal blue vulnerability. And then another thing is I will upload a file. In this case, what file am I going to upload? I'm going to upload the executable file, the one for ransomware, this wanacry.exe. So I will okay, it is here. So they even ask you what browser you want and so on and so forth. They even ask if you want connected to the network. Of course, I want this executable to run while the network is connected. Why? I want to confirm that truly and truly this executable is going to try to access this link or this domain. So that is why internet connection here is connected. So I have to set out connected. So I think others, you can leave them as they are. So I will just click run a public analysis. A public analysis means that other people can see what you've analyzed. So since this is a very known malware, I can just run it a public analysis. So I'll just upload. Now, when after uploading, you'll see something. You'll see the VM. This is the VM by the Windows. And I want you to look at the processes here. These are processes, and down here, connections. When I click on connections, I want you to check what is being accessible. Look at this URL under inside connections, what's being accessible. So this is what happens. The executable has been executed, and what it has done after on the system, it has checked this on port 80. On port 80, remember, we had seen that. Where did we see it? We had seen that it is HTTP, and we know better that HTTP is port 80. So basically, that is why you're seeing some on port 80, there is something being accessible. And this is the URL or the domain we saw here that this executable is accessing. And then we can see other connectors, svos.exe. All these are some processes. But minus that, when these files here uh, are being encrypted one by one. But you can just have it, you can just give it time. You will see these files being encrypted. We shall see how it encrypts those files. But we want to look at the processes. What happened by the when the file executed? What happened? First things first. This is the file that was executed. As you can see, this is the file. It first checked if the system is admin, and then after that, it read the security settings of the Internet Explorer. It read the internet settings. The purpose of this is to prepare this to happen, to access this connection to happen. That is why it first sees if there are internet connections, and then it starts a Microsoft application from unusual location. You can click to see what is that. So as you can see, it will on the CMD, it goes and runs Wanacry.exe, and then we can proceed and see will it drop anything. Process will drop a legitimate Windows execution. It will drop what it had opened up, and then another it checks all these file information, check the proxy, the computer name, and everything. It reads or it collects this information. That is at the first. Then what happens on the next stage? The next stage, it creates a file called svhost.exe. So this is the file it creates here, as you can see. I don't know whether you want me to zoom in. Uh, and let's see if I zoom in, it becomes too big. Okay, I think there is enough. Okay, svhost.exe is here, and you can see this xv.exe has been created, and if you can look at it on its processes, you can see more information to see what exactly happened, specifically on that process. We can see that it opened up that process xv.exe inside that folder, and it's a network service. And then we can see it made two connections. When we click on connections, we can see these two connections that were made. They are UDP connections. Thread, it's a Trojan. As you can see, it is being detected as a Trojan. And so these are the files that were opened. So basically, we can go back from here and you can look at other things. For example, we can look at IOC. IOC means indicators of compromise. What shows that this was a malware and it happened to do something interesting or malicious. When you click there in, first of all, you will discover this hash. So that is one only indicator of compromise that is there. But mostly we needed these connections. We need to confirm those links were able to be accessible. And then if you want, I can just restart this and you see it again. I can just say, I can say Windows 1. I can choose even to say Windows 10 and then run. So this is dynamic analysis. Dynamic analysis means that I'm going to run a malicious file and see how it does. You see how it is opening and you see how it is trying to access things here. The connections here, you see, trying to access all those connections. HTTP requests and then connection. All of these are happening. You see down here the processes, what it is doing. These are real-time processes. So you can see some background tasks. It is background, it is putting some tasks in the background. It shows another subscription. Under threats, you can see it's a network trojan was detected and it is Wanacry. It is opening a sub process. All of these are malware known, as you can see. It's malware Windows 32 Wanacry. And as you can see here, what it is doing, it is what we had detected even before. So basically, you would find out that all these are happening in real time, and these files you will not be able to open them, even though you try to. Okay, so at up, if you want, you can look at the graph. It depends what exactly you want to do with the system. But for us, we are only and only interested in this, the part in this part. So basically, uh, this is the one we are interested in. We can look at it. We can look at it how it all the sub processes and processes. So you see these files now in the desktop how they look like. They no longer look like maybe real documents. So they are kind of this sandbox. You see how they look like? They keep on changing. Meaning, you see, so basically they are encrypted. As of now, you cannot open them. Uh, that is what happened now to these files. Do you know why? Before they were not yet encrypted, but I want you to look here and processes what happened. There is another thing that we had not seen before. There is a process called Wanacry, and when we click on that process, it means that something is encrypting and decrypting. So if we look at what it does, we can look more on how it does this function. So when you look at Wanacry.exe, it is another file that was blocked. And what it did was, is the one trying, I think, uh, to encrypt these files and so on and so forth. So that is why these files are no longer being seen as they were Word documents. But when you check well, somehow they changed how they look like because something wrong is happening to them. And that is what is happening. You see? So this is how they look like now. And when you try to open them, trust me, they will not be looking the way they were looking at the past. So basically what we've discovered is truly the DNS requests, um, what it was trying to query, and what did it gain, and what did it do. It's the behavior of the malware, what it did, and all this is indicators of compromise. Why? When you see WC right means like cryptography, which means that somehow it is trying to encrypt with some crypto algorithms. So that is why you have a lot of it's creating a lot of files. That is why they told you that this malicious software is propagating many computers, and that is why you're seeing it here. And we can look at its graph. These are the PEs. We can even use the mail to look at how everything is happening, all the details of the executed. So the origin was from sync.exe. So basically that is it from the dynamic analysis. And then we can confirm all our findings that this ransomware was targeting files, encrypting them, and so on. Maybe when we'll just go back to our terminal, uh, we had all that and we discovered all this, and so we can confirm that truly the logic of this was that if the malware finds this not on the internet or resolving it, it will continue. If it finds it there, it will stop. So what marketing is the reverse engineer or the one who provided, so this was like a kill switch. So what he did, he went and registered this domain, and then after that, you can see it costed him $10. And then after that, every time this executive was run on a machine and it found this URL phone, it would exit and never do something. So that is how the end of WannaCry, that is how WannaCry came to the end, and that is how the person saved the world from the very dangerous, malicious software. I think with those, you can reach out to me for questions and any other feedback from you. If you want to know more how to use, to reverse malware, how to deal with malware, you can come out to me. There are very many tools to use. We could even run Wireshark. We could even run Wireshark to see those connections. We could even use tools like Flosso. uh, we could uh, we could use a lot of tools. Could use Gidra, we could use Ada Pro. We could use many tools for actually doing what for monitoring and reversing this. But for the sake of time, I think that is all. Thank you very much.